Hey there, carnivore hunters. So today I want to talk to you about a technician versus a doctor. Um, I've worked in the semiconductor industry most of my adult life. I started out as a technician. I worked myself up to an associate engineer, and now I'm a supervisor. But over the years, working as a technician and talking to other technicians, we would compare our job to that of a doctor, because as a technician, your job is to go in and troubleshoot a piece of equipment to the root cause, fix the root cause, and bring that tool back up to a like new condition. And so a good technician will have to use many times their senses of sight, smell, touch, just certain things, because you might smell a component burning, indicating some wires are burning, or a capacitor blew up or something like that. And if you're a mechanic or a plumber or an electrician, all these same principles apply. So I think you're going to get where I'm going with this. But anyhow, using your senses, you need to then be able to troubleshoot or analyze or diagnose to the root cause of the problem. And then the technician also needs to be free to make the repairs without a bunch of red tape and barriers. And I've worked for those companies that, man, you gotta do literally hours of paperwork to do a 10-minute job, and that can be a pain in the butt too. My current company does not do that, and I'm so grateful, because it makes the job not worth it, really. um, but then the technician then needs the skills to make the repairs, and like I said, return the equipment back into like new condition. So turning wrenches or screwdrivers, replacing a circuit board, or for you mechanics, maybe an engine or something. So a bad technician, they'll keep pushing the reset button, hoping that the equipment returns back to normal. And if it does, they haven't really identified the root cause, really. So, or they may try to reboot the equipment multiple times, shotgun parts, and in technician world, shotgunning parts means, hey, let's just throw this at the wall and see if it sticks. Um, and essentially, the bad technician's just putting a band-aid on the piece of equipment, not really knowing the root cause. And so the result of this, having a bad technician not troubleshooting the root cause, is you're going to cause other problems. And you mechanics know what I'm talking about. If you let your pads wear down to so that your pads and your disc are metal on metal, now you've got two problems, when you could have probably just saved the rotor or turned the rotor and been good to go. But now you've doubled your cost. Um, you're scrapping parts that didn't necessarily have to be scrapped, and now your costs are higher. So the same principle applies to doctors, and this is what I want to get through to you guys: is a good doctor has to have the same troubleshooting skills as a technician or an engineer. And you've all had your annual appointments where your doctor's poking and prodding at you, so they're using all the same senses a technician does: of sight, maybe smell, touch, and listening to the patient's symptoms, if there are any symptoms, so that they know what tools and tests they need to run and diagnose to root cause of your human problem. So when you go to your doctor and you have to request certain tests because your blood pressure is high and your cholesterol is high, and they're just running the same old test and throwing pills at you, they're putting a band-aid on it. They're not troubleshooting the root cause. And man, I'm telling you, in my experience since June 15th of 2023, it all comes down to nutrition. So, and it's kind of the same with doctors, where they have to be free to practice without a bunch of red tape and barriers. that big pharma and the big clinics throw at them. We have a friend that's a nurse, and she says, these doctors in the big clinics have a chart where they got to get the patient in and out in 15 minutes, and that's not what you want. You want a doctor that's going to sit there and listen to your what your symptoms are and try to figure out how to troubleshoot that to root cause. A bad doctor will keep pushing pill after pill, recommending specialists uh, that'll put you on a machine that will probably make them prescribe you more drugs. And again, they're essentially putting a band-aid on your ailment when it can be healed through nutrition. The pills that they push on you most often than not, and I'm going to say almost always, have detrimental side effects causing harm to some other part of your body. That's why people wind up, in my opinion, they go from one medication to 4 or 5 or 6 medications, which is where I was. And it started with heartburn. And the heartburn was caused from poor nutrition and a bad standard American diet. But the heartburn, I believed, caused my cholesterol and the other issues, the blood pressure, all the other issues I was having, where they kept having to give me more and more pills. It's the exact same result. Your doctor's going to keep pushing the pills rather than recommending some sort of lifestyle change, which will work for, I'm going to just spitball here and say 90 to 95% of us. Some of us may have to go on pills. If that's the case, it's time to either take your health into your own hands or go find another doctor. And so I just found another doctor, same clinic. He just happened to hire in. And a funny story is I went in there a couple of weeks ago to follow up on my lab work, which I'm going to be doing that video here very soon. When I walked in, the nurse comes in, takes all my vitals, and she asked me, "Is there any change in your medication?" I said, "Matter of fact, yeah, I've taken myself off of all my medications except for my blood pressure." And she goes, "Okay," she didn't seem happy about it. And then this new doctor walks in. I'd seen him once or twice before, but I didn't know him until this day. And he walks into the room and he says, "Glad to see you're doing so well, taking yourself off all these medications." And I just kind of looked at him cockeyed and I asked him, I said, "Are you being facetious?" And he said, "No." He said, "I'm very serious." And so I went through that whole appointment. And as I'm walking out of the appointment, he says to me, "I wish more of my patients would do what you're doing," because he has seen I've lost 50 pounds. My cholesterol's come down. My blood pressure has come down. He's seeing all this, and he agrees with the lifestyle I've chosen. I think he's cautious about it because I think he has a quota he has to meet. But I really appreciate him. I trust him, and I'm not gonna see any other doctor. So let me leave you with a final thought, and think about this. What if you ate a proper human diet, that a lot of carnivores are calling that these days, and spent only 30 minutes a day working out, rather than spending an hour with a doctor several times a year, run into the pharmacy, fill in prescriptions, and then another, 20, 30 minutes a week filling up your pill boxes with your supplements and your prescriptions. I mean, I'd rather take the gym and the one time a year visit, and that's my goal. That's what I'm working towards. And I have joined a gym and I've increased my workout. Man, guys, things are going great. If you're a technician, engineer, mechanic, electrician, plumber, man, you guys know what I'm talking about. Help me spread this word. Like a doctor Yeah, they're smart people, spend a lot of years in school to get where they're at, but they're nothing more than a technician for your body. You can't just trust what they say though, because you're going to get those bad doctors that they're going to keep pushing the pills and doing what Big Brother tells them to do. So, anyhow, carnivore hunters, thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you later. Bye.